call this meeting to order, the Warren County Commissioners Reorganizational meeting. Please stand for Pledge of Allegiance, and then I request a moment of silence. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Very good. Major announcement is that this meeting will be recorded. And moving down through the agenda, is there any public comment at this time? If none, then we move on to the consent agenda, in which there are no items. Under that, no unfinished business. I guess we can move right down into new business. And so the first item on the agenda is choosing positions, chair, vice chair, and commissioner. Of course, I am currently the chair, and Ben gave the chairmanship up, was it 18 months ago? So that's kind of been half of the tenure. So I am certainly willing to hear nominations from the floor as it relates to chairmanship. I know Commissioner Kafferlin historically thought that chairmanship should rotate. The practice has been in the past that the largest vote getter becomes the chair, and of course that practice was changed when Ben moved and asked that I become the chair. But certainly happy to move back to that, entertain conversation. What's your pleasures?
Well, I would move that chair be Ken as the highest vote getter,
Okay.
vice chair G. Tricia,
Okay.
and then commissioner G.
Okay. Thoughts on that, Ken?
I will second that.
Okay. All right. And do we need to make a motion for that? Okay.
He
Very
made
good.
the motion.
Yeah, because you made the motion, you seconded that. Okay. Any discussion? I'm happy to relieve my duty as chairmanship for a while.
Maybe something that could be considered as a rotating basis like prior.
Yes, like it's
16
current.
months each.
Yeah, that's a great possibility. I think that's fair. I know you don't realize how much responsibility the chair position holds until you are in the chair position and Pam's chasing you down. Particularly when we were in a situation, where there was some major concerns and you are the face, of the county. So that's good. We have a motion. We have a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, very good. So, go ahead.
I noticed Commissioner, we're going to call you Commissioner from time to time, maybe that third
Is
Commissioner has been secretary.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's,
Okay.
yeah, that's a good idea. And then I guess I wouldn't mind continuing to run the rest of this meeting and then
Please do.
tossing the baton on at the end. So the next item up here is to appoint the chief clerk. I have been very pleased with Pam Matby's role here. So I think that I would encourage her to continue in that role, but want to get some feedback from you guys or comments.
I'm ready to make a motion.
Okay, very good.
I would move that we retain Pam that day as chief clerk.
Okay,
Second.
all right. Any discussion? She's done a great job and yes, keeps me in line. I don't know about the others, but
Motion's already keeping
I
us in
asked
line.
her to keep me in line.
We had that discussion a long time ago, that you tell me where I'm supposed to be and what time.
All right, very good. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Great. Next bullet point is appointing solicitor. Again, I've had the pleasure of working with Nathaniel Schmidt, our current solicitor, during my tenure. We've been through some adventures, COVID, jailbreak, all those things. And I think he's done a great job, so I, would say that I would be interested in hearing your feedback, but certainly interested in retaining him as well.
I make a motion to retain Mr. Schmidt.
I'll second that.
All right, any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, very good. The next item up for discussion is the appointing the tax appeals board. Now, do we have a slate of the board?
You do.
Mr. Hesley and
Mr. Witt.
Mr. Whip and Dale Forbes.
Yes,
Dale Forbes.
Those are the three.
yes,
Okay. All right.
Have they agreed to, or they?
yes, they have.
They're all-
Okay. Great. So sounds like that with their experience and the fact that we're going to be engaging in the balance of the reassessment, it makes sense for us probably to have those individuals with the experience that
They
they
can have
have.
a variety of talents.
Routine.
too.
Yes.
Okay. Very good. So can I get a motion to appoint that same tax appeals board with those referenced?
I'll make that motion.
Okay.
Second?
All right, any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Very good. Next item of business is the various boards to which commissioners sit. You do see a list there of all of the boards. I think we talked a little bit about this. We had kind of a work session and, had proposed this. I haven't spent much time on it since, but I'm happy, like I said before, to stick with what I have and happy to be involved. So if you review this, are there any changes that you would like to make as it relates to board?
I'd just like to make a comment.
Okay.
I think with the three of us, it plays to our strengths. Myself being from public safety, so I think that
Okay,
we're good.
I think
Go very well.
we kind of have, live in different lanes in many ways, and this lines up with those, and what our priorities are, so that's good. It doesn't mean that it has to be this way forever, but it's, we'll start out this way and see how it goes. Okay, so we are only reviewing, we shouldn't have to take action on that.
Right.
Yes.
I would just note that some of these organizations, I think the commissioner is a statutory board member. And some of them, for example, with the authorities, we're just the liaison.
Right. Yes, you're right about that. In each of these organizations, in some ways, the commissioner's role is sitting on the board as part of the bylaws, and others they're not. So
Correct.
it's also how they're set up, and it also determines whether they're a voting member as a commissioner. So,
As far as meeting times go with these different boards and organizations and so forth, they work directly with you and to
yeah.
get our schedules set up.
It's one of the daunting challenges I've asked him to keep me in line with meeting schedules.
Go back to Ken, just tell me where I have to be and when.
There you go. All right, the next is to review the department liaisons. We kind of also had a work session and, came up with some ideas. This certainly is not necessarily the final liaison list, but it really did help myself and the former commissioners with managing a lot of independent relationships with each one of those departments. So if there's anything that, I think we'll just have it here to review, be okay with it, and then if we want to make any changes, somehow I'm not seeing Dan having, I might have to move some things around here, I think.
Well, I was going to suggest that we all make it a point to visit every one of the offices in the organization, because I think it's important that the employees know that each of us care about them. So even though there's liaisons,
Yes.
and yeah, I know you want to move some stuff over.
We'll see.
Whatever.
Well,
I'm
honestly,
okay with it.
90% of the time, we should all be in alignment with whatever goes on in these departments anyways, the three of us. So I think this is just, in the event that there's a hot grounder and you need to reach out to somebody first, who's your first line of defense. But other than that, you're absolutely right.
If you're looking for some suggestions coming from the planning background, we worked a lot closely with the registrar and recorder's office, so if you
Gotcha.
wanted to transfer that one over to me, I'm fine with that.
So I think, we work well together, all of us. The other thing that I was thinking of, just starting out, is we have some really important department heads that work directly for us. And we established, the former group of commissioners established having monthly reports. And so I think the other thing that I was thinking about suggesting to you guys is just having maybe once a year, each one of those department heads come to a commissioners meeting and maybe spotlight something that they've done that,
Once a year or once a month?
well, once a month maybe, but rotate departments. Does
Okay.
that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah,
Or
I think,
whatever works
yeah, I
best.
think the only, maybe change to that would be if there's something significant going on in a particular department that they really need to make us aware of,
Oh, yeah,
that maybe schedule outside of
yes, like a hot grounder,
yeah.
like a,
I mean, it's nice to have the monthly reports so we know where the departments stand,
right.
but we have liaisons too, that are in place to fill us in on those things.
Well, for example, I think that Phil Gilbert put in a new software system that enhanced the ability to make payments.
Mhm.
If he could come and spotlight that so that A, the public knows it, and B, give himself a little pat on the back and let us, accolade him for those
Sure.
types of things. So those types of things I think would be good. I read through those reports on a monthly basis. As chair, I probably should have highlighted more frequently all the things that go on, how many calls 911 took, how many, permits were issued, those types of things. It might be just kind of give the public a little better awareness of A, what goes on, because I think a lot of people don't necessarily unless they work in government. And B, any improvements that would relate to the constituencies. So, but just something for you guys to think about for commissioners meetings going forward. I think that is all of the new business.
Do you want to, is this, you're going to take a formal vote on the liaison and the assignments, or?
I don't think we need
I think maybe for the board, the statutory board appointments, not necessarily the department, three-column list, but
Okay,
for these,
sure.
if people are going to be board members,
Yeah,
vote would be appropriate.
okay, sure. So would someone like to make a motion to the boards to which the commissioners sit listing?
On page 2,
Mm-hmm.
I'll make that motion.
Okay,
And I'll second it.
all right, any discussion? All right, all those in favor, signify by saying aye. Good, thank you. So yes, we'll just see how that works out and kind of go from there. And so now we're at the closing portion of the meeting. Are there any commissioner comments? I've had way too many.
I just want to say that I look forward to the next 4 years of working with the both of you. I think we can do good things together, and each have our own specific talents, like Ken had mentioned, and so I think that makes for a well-rounded board of commissioners.
Great, sounds good. Well, that said, could I get a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Very good.
Very good.
All right,
All right.
thanks, guys.
All right, I look forward to working with you.
Can I ask a question before you guys take off? And I had talked with Dan about this a little bit already, but for the two of you, what do you see as priorities for the year and priorities for the term? Here at the outset.
For me personally, of course, I've always been, an advocate to try and bring broadband in, and I'm gonna refocus on that, once we get set here with our second term. And then secondly, although we've said today, there's no such thing as the commissioners being responsible for economic development, we certainly are supportive of whatever ways we can improve and grow the Warren County and working with partners. So happy to be involved in that as well.
My comments would be that first, I'm excited to be working with the other two commissioners. I did have a background, as we all know, as a sheriff, which I'm very proud of my community service. My entire adult life has either been in the military or working for the county. With that being said, I'd like for the public to know that if you have issues, concerns, questions, the doors are open. Please call us, stop and visit. I'm sure Pam will like that.
They are always open, that is true.
Yeah.
And we've had our share of people walking through them.
So, and one of my things that I would like to see that kind of came up in a strategic plan for human services is to reach out to some of the outlying areas, the Spring Creek, Columbus, Ron Grande Valley, Enterprise, and let them know what services are available. Get the message out. And I'll probably be approaching the commissioners about doing a dog and pony show to some of the outlying areas in the future. Maybe take human services and whomever we can get together and go out and talk to people. At least make ourselves available and let them know that this is what's out there. This is what resources are available.
I like that idea, and we could also include other departments within the county.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Josh. Very good. Well, we're off and running, guys.
Yeah.